Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back. I'm Will Dragon and we are finally gonna get to record a series of All Quiet in the Trenches. I understand YouTube has been quiet for a little while. I do want to apologize for that. I have had some problems with where I have moved to as I have moved countries with getting the sound levels right. I am praying all this sounds good. If you're still hearing this, it all worked out and I'm very, very excited. So let's go ahead and hit that new game. We're not going to activate tutorial, single save mode, force new soldiers. Let's continue. Now, I have seen the new soldiers as I have tried to record this twice before having made certain alterations to my recording space. But hopefully this time it all goes through. So I do know Ackerman and Fleckner. So let's, of course, I do want to play with them for the playthrough though. I want to attempt to get them through all the way to the end of the current time frame we have with where the game is currently at. And so let's just dive right in. See why? I did a little pre-test of this yesterday where I think everything was good. And I had the two new people with Hunt and Menk. And I was so happy. Now that I go to record it, why have I got Lots? Why? My Lots and Smith are my least favorite people. Why? And the one I go to record, that's who I get lumped with. Game truly hates me. All I'm going to say is, RNG, you and me are falling out for Christmas. You're off the card list. I can still hardly believe that a few days ago, back home, I had been appointed under-officer in charge with this handful of men. And here they were, sneaking through the trenches behind me, not 100 meters from the enemy positions with heavy packs and dwindling strength. Alfred Lutz, badly shaven, but had so far mainly caught my attention through his cynical remarks. Wolfgang Kohn appeared euphoric and full of energy, despite the long march. George Ackerman, strong and tall, with a firm gait, whose directness had not escaped me. Jan Fleckner, who crept behind the others, his cheeks hollow and his eyes downcast. I do love Kohn. George Ackerman, he is super strong, and, got a few other stats. He's very intolerant, he's somewhat patriotic, very outspoken, very courageous, somewhat sociable, and somewhat jaded. So he will die for king and country, just don't ask him to say nice things. And we have Jan Fleckner. He is tired of war. He is however dexterous and trained in first aid. That, in my opinion, makes him the best first aider in the game now, overtaking Bram. He is very tolerant, somewhat unpatriotic, somewhat compassionate, very cautious, and very distant. Hates his patients, however. I have a feeling some of these stats kind of mix him with Fram a little bit. They're medical people, but they hate people. There you are, Herr Unteroffizier, he greeted me. You seem to have taken your time. Surely you're fit enough to start work straight away. Lieutenant's condescending gaze swept over my men and then rested appraisingly on me. I always say yes, Herr Lieutenant, because I try and keep my prestige up, but nope, we're gonna go the other way this time. My men are tired, Herr Lieutenant, I objected. The train broke down, we had to hurry so that we could. The Lieutenant raised his hand. Don't think you'll get away with your lazy excuses with me, Herr Unteroffizier. I'll have to put that nonsense out of your mind. His contemptuous look pierced me. Find your sleeping quarters, then report back to me. In the meantime, I will think of a sufficiently difficult task for your group to learn right away what being tired really means here at the front. I looked at my men's faces. They looked dejected and angry, but also grateful for my attempt to stand up for them. Without so much as another glance to me, Lieutenant von Karlsberg turned back to the documents on his table. Welcome to the trenches, Herr Unteroffizier. Okay, so we do then start with low prestige, just above the shoulder line. We'll keep an eye on that. And two of them have changed to respectful. See what our job is. Of course, we don't have any food. And there's no time to get comfortable. Go and gather your men. A communication trench has collapsed. Right. So 3 of them get to be on trench duty. 1 of them can fetch me some rations. Let's sit next to me. Now, of course, we only have to get through a few days, and then the French arrive. My group is on night watch. No, not you. I'm going to say you. Might cause a little bit of problems. I think that has maybe gone up a smidge. A few hours ago, the roar of artillery had begun. At first, it was as quiet as the rumble of thunder in the distance, but recently it had become steadily louder and more threatening. Suddenly, there was a thud not 10 meters from the hiding spot where my men were huddled. An artillery shell shredded the dugout of our neighboring troop. Pieces of wood and metal flew for meters, and smoke obscured the view. The noise was deafening for a few seconds, then died away as quickly as it had come. An almost eerie, silent gasp of shock passed. Then my men and I jumped up, pushed aside broken beams, and searched for our buried comrades. We found two, for whom all help came too late. A third, however, we could still hear panting. He was lying with his upper body trapped under the fallen beams. His face was distorted with pain, and he was barely conscious. My men stood around him, forlorn, and looked over to me for help. Con said pleadingly, "Herr Unteroffizier, we must try to help him." Together we lifted the beam from his chest, and only now saw the full extent of the damage. His chest looked crushed, and his hip strangely twisted. A long splinter protruded from his abdomen, and his shirt was soaked in blood. Ackerman shook his head. "He's beyond help. A mercy killing will save him and us both misery. Get a stretcher." "We'll try and save him, we always do." "An artillery must destroy one of our telephone lines. Instruct one of your men to carry a message." Okay, what have we got? So it's going to be him because he's trained in first aid. And we're going to send Con as well. Deliver... No, wait. So we'll send you to deliver the message. Send you, because you're in fact bursting with strength. And Lots can go get lots of food. That's the plan anyway. There was a destroyed bit of trench. That's nice. Ain't got time for that. And now we are holed up in our bunkers. We do, however, have 3 days worth of rations. That shouldn't be a problem. We did it! Huzzah! He is grateful. He is no longer shaken. They are all relieved, and they are all in an excellent mood. Now, I'm not going to lie. I did this yesterday doing a little bit of a test. And Fleckner actually went from Tired of War level 2 to level 1. I was so hoping that would happen again. He must be right on the cusp, because for that to trigger but then not trigger, I mean, and I haven't done anything differently. So I feel like he's close somehow. Low prestige, we have gained a little bit more as well. Let's just hit next turn. The French should be here. Now I have to succeed this first mission, otherwise my prestige is not going to be able to take it. For the past day, my men and I have been sitting tightly packed in our bunker, while the French artillery rained down salvo after salvo of death and destruction on us. During the hard work of our first days in the trenches, I'd hardly found a quiet minute to have a personal conversation with my men. So now they were sitting next to me, tense and still mostly strangers, and I fervently hoped that they would survive the shelling unscathed. The silence between us was in sharp contrast to the constant droning outside. When, after hours, the firing suddenly stopped, a sigh of relief went through the ranks of some of the young soldiers. However, that was the moment when the veterans of the other troops tensed up and began to load their rifles. Cacophony of whistles snapped us out of our stupor as well. The French were attacking. Stay together, people. Now, I of course could check all of my people and see whether they are patriotic or not, but I generally always just go with stay together. I don't know why. I mean, I have excellent morale, which of course will drop during this fight, but I do have excellent morale, so I'm not too worried about that. The enemy has superior numbers. We may soon have to retreat from these trenches. Herr Unteroffizier, you and your greenhorns have to collect and evacuate all of the ammunition you can find. If we're to lose this trench, at least we won't lose our equipment. Okay, so... nobody with good eyes. You're already trained in shooting, right? So we'll give you fire on sight and con. Then we'll get you to search the hideout. Maybe this will at least somewhat keep the French a little bit further back. Because, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to get done. Okay, so that's exploded, so I don't really want to go to my right. There's also a lot of my guys to my left, which is to my advantage. The French are right there. So we need to boogaloo on out of here. Yep, we are automatically boogalooing on out of here. I didn't find any ammunition, but I did find some bandages. There are French over there. You are correct. There are French over there. Find a few combat supplies. That puts everybody in my flank. I'm gonna go this way because, like I said, I've got a lot of support over here. So there are French just here. As long as my guys don't all run away, I should be okay. Because I do need time to stop and actually gather the ammunition. Like I said, as long as all my guys don't run and the French don't, you know, come in like a bulldozer. As long as they pause for a second. Oh, yep, they're going right. That's fantastic. Yep, they're all slunk right. We do have another troop by there, but we should have a little bit of time to keep searching. Keep fire on sight going. I did con, I believe. Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, throw that grenade. It's a perfect hit. What? Someone went down. Keep the French away from me. I have equipment together. He's gone somewhere a little bit odd. Oh, grenade incoming. Okay, it was a bad grenade. There was no equipment to be found here. Well, that's not good. I shot a Frenchman. Otherwise, he would have... I had no other choice. Right, we'll have to deal with that one. Okay, well, so far we haven't really gathered much ammunition. Which is definitely not good, because we really do have to succeed this. I've still got a little bit of time. Still do have a little bit of time. Heads down artillery. Put Fleckner on, search that knapsack. I might even... Yep, I'm going to split. Get these guys over here. And then they can search and he can come join us again, basically. Now, this is... It goes horribly wrong every time I do this on the opening mission. But we'll see what's going to happen. We're getting a lovely bit of smoke cover. So nobody should even know we exist right now. He's ready to come back. So let's do a search. I mean, we really need to find ammunition in both of these. Otherwise, we're a little bit screwed, really. Look at that, look at that. Nobody should even know we exist whatsoever. We're more secretive than a shooter on a grassy knoll. Probably nowhere near as deadly. Oh, smoke's clearing. What do we see? What do we see? We've got some French up there, but they're going right. Again, they don't know we exist, I don't think. This guy looks like a loner. I don't think he's in a squad. We are falling back. Retreat to the next defensive line. There was still a bit of ammunition and first aid supplies. Took everything I could find. To provide cover for our comrades. There was still a bit of ammunition and first aid supplies. I took everything I could find. Okay, well, I've still got supplies over here. Can I see much else? No, okay, so we're going to go this way. Like I said, I have to succeed this mission for my prestige. I can't go into the first camp phase with low prestige. It would be... Oh, definitely at the beginning of this game, difficult. It would put me on Rambo charge straight down the middle duty in the next battle, I can tell you that much. Oh, dead Frenchman. That's weird. Oh, are we going to get hit? We got hit. Lots is down. That should be enough, right? We collected quite a lot now. Can't carry much more. Damn artillery. Lots must have taken a hit. Okay, so we have in fact succeeded the mission already. We may as well. You're jaded, so you can do that. First aid for Lots. You are dexterous and trained in first aid. You will also get experience in said thing. So let's just wait. Hear a turn. I'm hoping Lots gets, well, lots of it immediately back up. Hell yeah. Black enough for the win. Got to get him a nice bit of experience towards... I don't know. The trait of First Aider? I mean, he's trained in First Aid, so I don't know what any of the traits are. No, I lie. There's a Sniper, I think, as one of the traits. That's the only one I know of. But I do know, obviously, constantly doing the same soldiers with the same experience packets, so to say. Get them certain stuff. There was nothing left that we could use. I stopped Lotz's bleeding. Seems the wound wasn't as bad as it looked. I think I can continue. Your orders. Run like hell. I may take a turn and provide some covering fire. I may even be a bit far back anyway. Ooh, ooh, oh, these graphics for these artillery drops are scaring me. I want a little bit too close for comfort. You know what? Let's just get one round of fire on sight, just because, basically, I'll get a little bit of experience from it. I don't know how much, you know, I don't know how much experience you need and how much experience everything, little thing like this gets you. And then I also don't know if, as an example, you know, Con actually having hit a Frenchman gets him a bonus, you know, like 5% every time you do this, and an extra 5 or 10% if you hit someone or something. Like, I truly have no idea how it works. We'll have to see what happens. I can't move. There you go. Clicking on the exact spot the artillery just fell. It'll be fine. Lightning doesn't strike twice, right? So good. Lightning don't strike twice, but artillery might. Artillery very much might. Okay. That's the end of the little tutorial mission. We've had our injured soldier. We've patched him back up. It was lots. Not that badly wounded, so that's all good. And it's time to now get back to these trenches. That's complete. We also managed to get all of the ammunition. That's all good as well. And also with the loading screens, which they haven't come up yet because we've had that gas mask thing twice. They've changed it now. They've added new loading screens in with new bits of information, which are really, really nice in my opinion. So we'll wait till some of those come up for me to potentially share with you, unless you have seen them already. The explosions, gunshots, and screams still echoed in my ears. We had only been fighting for a few minutes, and yet it felt as if years had passed since this morning. And the everyday life back home a lifetime away. Being in the camp now, safely far behind the front, was surreal. The light-hearted chirping of the birds almost drowned out the dull rumble of the front, and cries of pain from the field hospital where we had taken lots. Oh, is he that badly injured? He is! I only thought he was going to be 1 point. My people lay down exhausted on the grass, surrounded by the boxes of ammunition and equipment we had saved. Dirty and bloodied. Some still pale and trembling, but soon the angry voice of the lieutenant in the distance abruptly broke the supposed peace. Even before we could see him coming towards us amidst the tents. Yeah, I didn't think he was that badly wounded because... Herr Lieutenant, I greeted him uncertainly. Lieutenant von Karsbrook looked down contemptuously at my people, most of whom were still sitting or lying on the ground. But seeing the ample supply of ammunition seemed to appease him. Good job, Herr Unteroffizier, he forced out against his visibly blazing anger. Not that it was a difficult task, but apparently with this bunch of slobs you have to be happy if anyone shows even a modicum of competency. Our troops were in the best position for a counterattack, but no, the reserves were too cowardly to take advantage of this unique opportunity we had prepared for them. The lieutenant rumbled without prompting. And now the Herr Major accuses me, us, of having abandoned the trench line unnecessarily. A disgrace. Henceforth we will hold the line come what may. Soldiers spent only about 15% of their time in the forward trenches, but far more time in a safer rear reserve position such as support and reserve trenches. The troops there could be quickly mobilized in the event of an attack and sent to the front trenches to provide support or to launch a counterattack. Yes, sir, Lieutenant. Lieutenant von Karsbrook nodded contentedly. Set up camp, Herr Unteroffizier. Sooner or later we'll get our chance to pay back the French, he ordered, and left us to take out his displeasure on others. Nice, so we very much did need that, because we are now on average prestige. Hospital partially occupied, added. He is now respectful. And Lutz is having a good recovery. It's good. I would have liked him to still be with us because having 4 people set up camp is much more advantageous. Your Lutz is under officer. I'm Nurse Elizabeth Ritter. I organize our small field hospital here. Don't worry, Lutz is doing pretty well. He will soon recover from his wound. I'm honestly glad you were overwhelmed so quickly. The shorter a skirmish, the fewer dead and wounded. Peter's good. Free, as per usual. What else have we got? He's the cook. Now we finally get supplies. I kind of wish that when you did this, it would just come to this guy first. It makes more sense. Yeah, cool. We have supplies. I don't even know why I'm trying to read that. Got delivery from the field intendant. What size ration should I give your people? Normal. We'll be fine. We'll just have to clear them set up camp. Like I said, I think with 4 you can get it done in 1 turn. But I think with 3, maybe not so much. Young Ackerman seemed made for war. Strongly built with an energetic voice and never short of a quick-witted reply. Nothing and no one could harm him, at least not easily. I just saw him carrying 2 crates at once into the camp with quick steps, while Fleckner already seemed to be struggling with just 1. When he passed the heavily panting Fleckner on his way back, he roughly pulled the crate out of his hand with the words, "Leave it to me, lad," hoisted it onto his shoulder. Taken aback, Fleckner watched him go. I commend your strength. I encouraged him. He huffed triumphantly. I should think so. If only you had more like me, the war would be won in no time. With that, he disappeared back into the camp. Well, somebody's full of himself. Yes, we got Wellinger. I approve of soldier number 5. I just swore. Well, let's see if we get what we get for soldier number 6. Oh, he is now uneasy. Interesting. Respectful added. He is now also tired of war. Rations go down to just 3 days. Perfect weather for a little camping trip, isn't it, Herr Unteroffizier? I'm Franz Wellinger, your new man. I hope not all of the French girls in the village are already taken, or at least that they're willing to make an exception for me. Ha! Right, we have something. Bonjour, monsieur. Are you the Herr Unteroffizier whose people pitch their tents right here at the camp entrance? My name is Marianne Laroche. I am one of the village elders in our community. Since I can speak German, I try my best to mediate between the residents of the village and the soldiers here. Yep. These villagers are suspect. I keep hearing stories about attacks by Frank's terreurs on our comrades along the front. Organize some patrols through the village, Herr Unteroffizier. Show the French who's in control here, so they don't get any foolish ideas. Okay, so hang on, let's go to this guy. Next shipment. In a couple of days, good, because I've already only got 3 days, 3 turns worth of rations. So all we've got to do is patrol the village. Now, Con is very tolerant, as is Fleckner. So Fleckner is quite tired. Let's say Wellinger. He's not that tired. Fleckner takes a lot more to get himself back together than Con, because Con is bursting with energy. Sit next turn. I'm not going to risk our rations. That was toying in my mind. That's what the pause was. I won't risk it this turn. I'd watched young Fleckner with concern since his arrival in our troop. He did his work reliably, quickly, and very conscientiously, but he hardly exchanged a word with his comrades. Deep circles under his eyes spoke of sleepless nights, and even the slightest noise made him jump in fright. When he once again sat apart from the group, slumped over his sketchbook with trembling hands, I sat down next to him. You are very skilled at drawing, I remarked as I looked at his sketchbook. With precise strokes, he had captured his surroundings, the trees in the camp, the limbers, the horses, his comrades. There was no trace of his apparent insecurity in these drawings. Thank you, Herr Unteroffizier. It helps me take my mind off things. Then he sighed. I've been through all this before. Right at the start of the war, I enlisted. Medical service. It took less than 3 months before I was sent home with a broken leg. I thought I fulfilled my duty to my country, but they drafted me again. He's very distant, very cautious, he's very tolerant, he's somewhat unpatriotic, but he is also somewhat compassionate. So I'm not going to hit Vataland. Camaraderie will help you get through this. I mean, is that actually going to push him into there, or is that just a losing argument? I know what you mean. I sat silent with him for a while longer, then I took my leave and left him to his sketches. Well, that should at least improve our relationship. I don't know if it was the right decision. Oh, I've got Fram. I've got double medic. Not sure I'm a huge fan of that. He is, however, attentive, so that is quite nice. Like, I don't mind Fram. He's not one of my favorites, but I don't mind Fram at all. But we do have double medic. So at least now the medics can patch each other up, which is always useful. We'll soon be moving our comrades in the trenches. Make sure your people are ready to march when the time comes. One of my patrols was scheduled to return yesterday, but there's still no sign of them. Send out your own patrol to find the comrades. And God have mercy on them if it turns out they were just dilly-dallying. This is a new mission. Haven't seen this before. We still haven't been resupplied. I'm very glad I didn't do double rations. That would have killed me. Slightly wounded, tired removed, pub visit added, grateful added, changed down to tired, low supply stock, 1 turn, rations. Sorry, respectful relation added. That was Fram, right? That was what I was reading. Yes, it was respectful added. Okay. Who else have we got? Still a bit bruised, but I'm feeling a lot better. Got more? I don't have enough supplies for a few days. Yep. What else have we got? There's a pub in the village. Lots and I would like to take a visit with your permission. But we've still got more. Sight of armed soldiers in our village is always unsettling, but your soldier Con behaved very decently on his patrol. Please tell him I'm grateful. Okay. We have to the trenches in 3 turns. Praise his behavior in the village. Longing and determined have been added. Find the missing patrol. I do love these. Increases experience in a specific domain. Specific domain, you say? So I'm going to go for this being the searching domain, which is the same as constantly rifling through people to try and find stuff. So I'm going to send Fram. I'm also going to send Ackerman. Maybe they can not bond with each other and see if they can find the missing patrol. I'm thinking that will give them both experience in looking for things. Now, every trait can only be done once. So I would need to keep an eye on X, Y, and Z, so to say. Now, the villagers will disapprove. However, I do not care. I so hope we get food next turn. Otherwise, my people are all starving. Right from the get-go. So my men were on their way to the Sunday camp service, but when Con wanted to join them, Ackerman protested. Service isn't for your kind. What is he? He's Jewish. Got it. If Catholics and Protestants can pray together, why can't we Jews? Con countered defensively. Camp service is for everyone, I affirmed Con. Ackerman looked at me in disbelief, then he cast a hostile glance at Con, gnashed his teeth, and hissed in my direction. Seems I have misjudged you, Herr Unteroffizier. With those words, he took off, clearly still fuming with anger as he marched ahead. Con let out a deep sigh of resignation, but gave me a grateful nod. At the service, Ackerman simply ignored Con, which seemed to suit Con fine. When I saw the soldier Alfred Lotz, I cried a little inside. At camp, he was inspecting his assigned rifle with great interest, almost as if he was memorizing the design. Yep. First thing a good soldier does is familiarize himself with his material. Lotz looked up. Professional interest, only I'm a toolmaker, he muttered, as if he was in no way interested in being a good soldier according to my standards. Good to have you with us, I replied. Your skills could be very useful here. It's interesting how he's a toolmaker, but he's not dexterous. Is he a bad toolmaker? He nodded gratefully and turned back to his rifle. I feel like those skills would interjoin. I was just finishing the work scheduled for the upcoming days when the young soldier Con came barging into my tent. Ever since he joined the unit, he could be found wherever there was work to do. And if there was no work to do, he was doing push-ups instead. As it turned out, the former was also why he had come to visit me today. Under officer, is there any work duty left over? I volunteer. I'll keep you in mind for upcoming assignments. Throwing some more fuel into his fire of his zeal. He nodded eagerly and reassured me. Looking forward to any chance to prove myself. I know what they say about us Jews, but I'm not like that. We're not like that, and I'll show you who I really am. You don't have to prove yourself to me. Jew or not, you're part of my unit as much as the next man. Con answered with a polite nod and a smile, but I had a distinct impression he would have preferred getting latrine fatigue, where he could prove himself instead of my words of encouragement. Lots is on a very good recovery. We have a trustful and distrustful meter for Madame LaRoche. That's new for me. Ooh. Of course. We're afraid of you and your men. Very nice. That's, like I said, that's a new one for me. I will have to reread the patch notes, because I did read them when they first came out, but that was now like 2 months ago. We searched the whole area, but found no trace of the missing patrol. The other search parties also didn't find anything. They're just gone. Dropped off the face of the earth. Ooh, that's bad. Our food stocks are nearly depleted. We have food, right? Prisoners of war in our camp that need guarding. Where? This is pretty rough. Tired removed, changed to tired. Distrustful. Resentful added. Alright, yes, because of that. Relieved removed. Grateful and belonging added. Well rested added. Changed just to favorable. Oh, that's better than... Oh, that's weird. Ah, I did send him to the pub. Fram is now strained. Hospital partially occupied removed. Pitiful rations. Well rested. Favorable. Very good recovery. Where is the food? This is a rough start. Maybe that patrol I was searching for had something to do with the food delivery. I don't know. The latrine is filled to the brim. Well, Agamemnon, you want to cause a fight with me? I'm down. Oh, I need food to turn up. This is going to suck. When I signed Con to his task, he gave a happy, almost over-eager salute. As I dismissed the men, his satisfied, determined aura made for a nice contrast to the usual grumbling and mumbling I got out of many other soldiers. He immediately went to work with purpose over the textbook soldier he likely aspired to be. Ever the textbook soldier, sorry. A soldier was coming back into camp with a stack of freshly chopped wood when I heard young soldier Wellinger quipping. It's a pity we're not at home. I'd know where we could find some stacks at lots. Farmer Schmack's daughter. She's really stacked. I can imagine his accompanying gesture. Let the soldiers have their fun. As I walked past a group of men, the soldiers stifled a laugh as they greeted me. In view of their still visible joy, a small smile escaped me. Immediately, a very pleased look flashed across Wellinger's face. I met Elmer Fram. I was relieved. According to his file, he could also have been a doctor in a field hospital, and I had expected him to be frustrated and hostile. But he seemed relaxed and composed about his appointment to simple military service. Takes him away from my work, he admitted, but what's a few months? He shrugged. Could also take longer, I warned him. He looked at me as if I were unpatriotic or stupid. I calmed him down. Out here, you just get a different view of things, you know? Get familiar with it, and then you'll see. Maybe it'll work out with your schedule. He nodded hesitantly. In a few months, there will be an important conference of the Wednesday Psychological Society, of which I am a member in Vienna. They will be expecting me at that date. All the esteemed experts will be there. I nodded if that were no problem at all. I didn't know if I had convinced him, but I would probably have to decide whether I wanted to be honest with him in the future or not. That story has also changed. That's a bit different. Right now, everybody hates me because there is no food. Resupply came in. Finally. Oh, there's 14 more things for the next. Tired removed. Went down to tired while rested removed. Oh, yes, of course, we have this friendship thing going on now. He's now friends with Wellinger. Oh, interesting. I don't quite know how that's going to play out either. Good weather added. Likely wounded is removed. Oh, Ackerman went down because we don't have good enough rations. Very good recovery removed. While rested added. Nauseated added. Longing removed. Grateful added. High supply stock. 7 days of rations. Down to a good mood. Sunny added. Disappointed added. And all the rest of it. Alright, what I'm going to do is next turn we go to the trenches. Double rations for a singular turn. Your unit is tasked with guard duty. Not that I'm sure, because when you go to trenches, it seems the effects you should have at the beginning of the turn don't really happen. I wonder if that has changed or whether they will do something about it. Sure, guard duty. They're both bursting with energy. Send them with friends? I don't quite know what that does. Yeah, so I don't quite know what the friend system does. I'll have to double check on that one as well in between episodes. Middle rations are removed. Change to excellent mood, that's good. Disappointed removed for lots, well that's good. While rested added and changed to while rested, that's also good. Double rations for 3 turns. Well, let's go back here. Let's... Standard, thank you. Go standard. That at least puts me on 5 weeks. 5 turns. Have your people ready, it's back to the trenches. Grab my supplies. Ooh, we have a formal relationship with Hennick. I want to show them to you before every march to the front. Right, so we now have full ammunition. We have 2 extra grenades. And so we are ready to go to the trenches. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, sit neck, go to next level. And we are going to end the episode there. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed it. And until I see you again for the next episode, I truly hope that you will stay safe, happy, and healthy.